¿Qué onda, vatos locos, damas y caballeros? It's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for a Thursday night edition of Tailgate Talk NFL Week 5 with my co-host all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. ¿Qué pasa, homie?
What's up, Dave?
Hey, Eagles, man. You guys got the bye week. NFL Week 5 bye week. We got 4 teams out, which might be a good thing for the Philadelphia Eagles, coming off kind of a big loss. Drew, I'll have you give us your take on the performance of the Philadelphia Eagles this week. The Lions also got a bye week. Chargers and the Titans are out, as well as the red hot Minnesota Vikings will be playing in the UK. I wonder if my buddy speech impediment man, a big Vikings fan, is going to make his way across the pond to see the Vikings play in the UK. That's very exciting. That's the first game. And as well, Drew, we got what you just told me. Tampa Bay's up 30-27. Atlanta Falcons. Not bad for a Thursday night game, Drew. Who'd you have in that game? Remind me. Tampa looking to improve to 4-1, but this is a very close game. Fourth quarter right now with 10 minutes to go. Shout out to everybody just joining us in the chat. Make sure you hit that thumbs up as you come in. Feel free to chat. And, of course, share on your socials. Let's talk some NFL Week 5, Drew. Bye week I just mentioned, but there's some red-hot news right here where I live in Las Vegas. Devonte Adams finally made it clear. Even though they won, Drew, Devonte Adams, the 6-time Pro Bowler, wide receiver, star, sometimes diva in my opinion, decided that it's time to let the Raiders officially know he wants out. He wants out of the Vegas Raiders, Drew, and tons of teams are looking to add Devonte Adams to their roster. Where will he go? Where will he go, Drew? Let's talk about his first well-known preferences. He wants to be traded to see Aaron Rodgers. Oh, Drew's going to step away.
I gotta go bathroom.
Oh, quick bathroom break just as we start. All right, guys, everybody that's just tuning in to Tailgate Talk NFL Week 5 with Dave and Drew Evo. Devonte Adams of the Raiders decides he's had enough and is making it publicly known he wants out. Of course, his first 2 picks are quarterbacks he's very well familiar with. He'd love to join Aaron Rodgers, who's playing with the Jets, and the Jets starting to finally improve. Of course, New Orleans is not looking too shabby with Derek Carter. And the New Orleans Saints, those are his first 2 picks, but tons of other teams interested, including Dallas Cowboys. Even the Niners supposedly were somewhat interested in him. And it'd be very interesting. A lot of the Niner channels have been speculating on what the Niners would have to do to pick up an outstanding talent like Devonte Adams, even speculating trading Ayuk, who just signed a mega contract. A mega contract. Should we trade Ayuk? He just got the big contract. Actually, really, if we can get rid of Ayuk and maybe somebody else, we actually might be able to add him, but would he be a good fit here? This is what we do know about Devonte Adams as Niner fans. He grew up right in the Bay Area, East Palo Alto, California, played for Palo Alto, went on to stay in the state of California, playing with Derek Carter for the Fresno Bulldogs, eventually making his way to be a 6-time Pro Bowler. Is he a good fit for the Niners? Are they even really interested in adding him to the arsenal? Of course, Jennings for the 49ers is playing outstanding, playing even better than Ayuk. We got a rookie named Ricky Pearsall who just got shot in downtown San Francisco. He's scheduled to return to practice after being shot just weeks ago. I really don't know. If I was Devonte Adams, Drew, being that I'm born and raised just minutes from the current 49ers stadiums, he's a Palo Alto, California kid. East Palo Alto to be exact, I would want to play for the 49ers. I really would, but is he a good fit? I don't know, Drew. Where do you think Devonte Adams? It's big news. A lot of people want him, man. Where is he best suited to go, and where do you think he'll end up going?
I think moves are being made for him to try to go to the Jets to reunite with Aaron Rodgers. I think it would be a mistake for him to go to Dallas. It would be a mistake for them to trade for him because of CeeDee Lamb. When the clear focus is you need defense. Uh, I think teams that really need a wide receiver could benefit from him. Maybe like the Bears, maybe I don't know, maybe a reunion, a Green Bay reunion. I don't know. There's a lot of teams that can use them.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. And I was just talking about even the 49ers are on the potential list. Dallas Cowboys obviously got an unlimited amount of money to spend. But Drew, I think he really wants to end up on a team that's got a potential to please try to go to a Super Bowl worthy team. Derek Carter isn't playing too shabby. Can Aaron Rodgers do it? We're going to get to our picks for week NFL 5. Of course, the Jets are playing this week. But it is big news because Devonte Adams, a lot of teams need somebody like Devonte Adams. But personally, not too sure if he'd be a good fit for the 49ers. We got a lot of stars on the team. Even down, I hate to say this, Drew, even down to the wides. If you watch the Netflix documentary that had featured the wide receivers this season, the 49ers got a lot of wives on the team of star players, George Kittle and whatnot, Usyk, who's a great player as well. I don't know how the wife of Devonte Adams would fit in with that group, man. They're kind of like alpha females, and Devonte Adams is obviously a real alpha male. And I don't know if his attitude would be accepted in the 49ers, man. I just don't know if he'd be a good fit.
I think the main issue with the Niners is the defense. Like, yeah, you got injuries on the offense, but your defense is at full strength, and you guys can't stop a cold.
Yeah, actually, I will admit that, Drew, that defensively, to lose that game to the Rams, that's a game that should have been won, and the defense wasn't able to stop the Rams in the fourth quarter. We'd be better off seeking some assistance in the linebackers on the defensive end, putting money into that during the open trades. That's where I really think we are in need of use. And Ayuk, as a wide receiver who just signed a huge contract, man, he's just got to step it up and make those catches. He's got to make the big plays.
It's like when you pay guys, their game, takes a step back. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter what position it is, you take a step back. Like, we look at Jalen Hurts posse digressing and everything a little bit, but here's the thing. I look at it like this. This is like the fifth different the offensive coordinator he's had. So he's running an offense every year, except for the 2 years he has Slaken, and when he had that, he was an MVP candidate and everything. And that's the one thing we could say we could not hold against Jalen Hurts. But at the same time, Jalen Hurts has to stop playing hero ball. He has to stop. He has to know how. He has to take care of the ball, and he's got to complete throws. Like, I understand last week you didn't have two best receivers out there, but the thing is, you still had Dallas Goedert, and I blame us a little bit on game planning too, because they didn't come out fast. It started out fast. It was a horrible game plan from the get-go. They should have ran the ball more on the first couple of drives. And I think you take the pressure. This is what you gotta do. You take the pressure off Hurts for a little bit, run the ball a little bit, then start him up with some 10-yard, 5-10-yard passes, get him into a rhythm a little bit, and then you go along and move the offense along and everything. Like, they're trying to be big play offense. You don't gotta be exactly a big play every time and everything until it's like crazy, man. It's just crazy as hell. And I look at it like this, that you gotta do something to benefit him, because he didn't have a preseason. He didn't play preseason. And this is still a new offense. And it's a lot of motion and everything. You do give him freedom to change the play around a little bit, change protection a little bit. But I think Jalen just needs to take what what the defense gives them. But at the same time, if you can't get that ball out your hand, if you won the ball, you throw it away, you live to fight, never fight another day and everything. And the other thing that I did not like that I had to hold offensive coordinator accountable for, you put them in too many 5 to 7 step drop plays and everything. We needed to get the ball out fast. And these receivers couldn't get open and everything. And then you can blame the heat and everything. I don't care about that. But same time, man, the offense, you just gotta start faster on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side, it's more fundamental issues. It's partly fundamental, partly scheme wise. Like, you're not letting these corners press. The play man covers or press man and everything. And Fangio said during the press conference, I allowed them to make that adjustment if they want. I'm like, then why don't they make that adjustment for them? You got 2 cover corners, right? Good ass cover corners, and they're not making that adjustment, or at least moving closer to like between 3 or 5 yards away from them, and do that. And then like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think he's playing he's got to play a hell of a lot better. Yusuf signed a contract to be here and everything, and you're missing tackles. You're blowing coverage assignments. Like that touchdown pass that Slay gave up. Tell you the truth, yeah, it's on Slay because he was playing man on him and it was on him. But at the same time, C.J. Gardner-Johnson should have been in that middle of the field. You let that middle open not to give your quarterback some help, and you in a coverage where nobody's at. I don't know what the hell kind of coverage you was in. What you were covering, you should have been in the middle the whole time. And that would have been a pick. Or I would have took it away from Baker that route and everything. And 15 missed tackles that game, Dave. 15 missed tackles on defense. And you got a Fontaine Maddox on that thing, man. A Fontaine Maddox should be benched. I think you start the rookie Cooper DeJean. I think you bench Maddox because I think Maddox, when it comes to motion and everything, he loses track of somebody. He takes his eye off him. He don't know where his guy is now, or he doesn't know how to get to like the one pass defense and everything. It's all about like because Rangers defense about disguising, but I think they take too much time trying to disguise the defense and not trying to get fundamentally ready for the play. And then on the goal line, I don't know if you watched the game, Dave. On the goal line, they play man defense. Play man defense. Your linebackers are always right behind the line, and your corners are right there with you. So if you're playing man coverage, if they do a motion, or they do that, or the corner's got to go that way, your linebacker's blocking your way. Instead of having them back up a little bit and your corner could go and make the play with it, you're blocking your guy from getting to his guy. And that caused a wide open play. Lucky the wide receiver dropped it at the last second, but there's too many fundamental mistakes on this defense and everything. Offense, they're not bad game planning. I think that a lot of things you gotta let the coach, the coordinator calls plays, but he has to start faster on this.
Hey, shout out to him to the Lion if he's still in the room here. If you've come across our channel, Shoeshine Boxing, Drew Evo and I have one of the best boxing podcasts on YouTube. I will say that. I don't give a shit. It's every Monday night. We recap the sport of boxing, what's going on in the business and sport of boxing. And interesting, I don't know, your question about who do I favor, Muay Thai. I've never seen a and I practiced Muay Thai coming out of high school. I've never seen a Muay Thai fighter fight a boxer in the boxing ring that was better than a full-time boxer. Some of the few kickboxing champions would be Chris Algieri, who was a world kickboxing champion, who did fare very well and also win a world title as a boxer. Very rare, though.
I have to go with a boxer because Muay Thai fighters are mostly known for using their elbows and their legs and their knees.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're talking about a street fight, actually, it might be advantageous to be a Muay Thai practitioner if we're talking about fighting in the streets.
But I watched a couple of Muay Thai fights on TV, Dave.
Yeah.
they particularly do not have good offense when it comes to like trying to block and everything or head movement. They do not at defense. I mean.
So the main thing with Muay Thai, getting off the subject off football week, is that you're taught to square up. So yeah, your offensive stance is square, which you have to completely adjust in the world of boxing. But stay tuned for Monday night, man. We appreciate if you want to subscribe to the channel and join us on Monday nights. Like I said, you can go back and watch our last Monday show. We recap the sport of boxing every weekend, and I live here full time in Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world. Drew, who is injured and who's going to need the time off to come back on your Philadelphia Eagles next Monday? Or I'm sorry, when's the next time you play?
Next week.
You guys got the bye week, and is AJ your wide receiver? How long is he out conceivably?
I think he's coming back.
That'll be a nice addition.
Lane Johnson should be back. I don't know about Devonte Smith yet, but I saw the press conferences. And it's really leaning towards that Cooper DeJean, our other rookie quarterback that we drafted in the second round, is close to probably starting at the nickel corner. So our 2 out of our 3 starting corners, going to be rookies. And you see our one rookie, he's lights out. He's lights out. People cannot catch balls on him.
Oh, you guys got some speed on him, huh? All right, NFL Week 5. Let me get my betting slip here. We're going to be looking at the odds on DraftKings as we speak. And obviously, the first game is very early in the morning for people on the East Coast and even earlier on the West Coast because they're playing in the UK. And like I said, will the Minnesota Vikings under Sam Darnold, the former San Francisco 49er, will they continue to be red hot? Ooh, Drew, they're playing none other than, let's check it out. First game of the day. The Jets, preferably where I mentioned the game earlier, Devonte Adams wants to land probably with his good old buddy. Is this NFL Week Peak 5? Yeah, obviously Buccaneers are still playing Atlanta, New York Jets versus Vikings. 9:30 in the morning East Coast time. This is not a very good picture of the slip. So
I look at it like this. It looks like the Vikings are the away team, the underdog, right? So, what's the line on that?
It's very close. This week, if you guys look at the spreads are very, very close. Almost like 7.5 points for almost every single game. Minnesota Vikings are the favorite, but just 2.5 by a field goal, essentially. I don't see how the Minnesota Vikings lose to Aaron Rodgers, even if it is in the UK. I see them covering the spread, beating them by at least a touchdown. What about you, Drew?
Oh man, I'm gonna go Vikings on this. I'll take the Vikings.
Vikings improve. I think we both are going to be in agreement. The Vikings improved to 5-0. Will they be the only team 5-0, or will they be joined by the Kansas City Chiefs at the end of the day?
And what's the spread?
On which game? On the one I just mentioned, Vikings are favored by 2.5.
So I'll tell you what, I'll go with the money line on the Vikings.
Yeah, so do I. Shout out to Jimenez Video Productions. Like I said, a good job, man. You've been covering the little boxing gym up in Riverside County, I believe. Continue to do that, man. That's really good work there.
I'm writing down my picks right here.
Write them down. All right. That brings us to the first set of games at 10 a.m. It is a bye week. Shout out to everybody just joining us. We're going through week number 5 on the DraftKings app. If you want to join along there on DraftKings, Cleveland Browns versus the red-hot rookie-led Washington Commanders, Drew. Now I'm having a lot of good time watching this rookie, Jaden Daniels. Is he going to be the big breakout star in the NFL this year? The Washington Commanders, being absolutely trashed last year, find themselves 3-1 on the verge of a 4-1 record. Commanders favored by 3.5 points against Browns. Browns got a good defense, but if I'm correct, didn't the Raiders just beat the crap out of the Browns?
20-15. But here's the thing: the Giants beat them, the Cowboys beat them. Washington's coming off a road 42-14 dominant win against the Cardinals and everything. And they're up by, and the Watson's favored by 3.5, right?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson finds himself in a bad place, Drew. I'm hearing talks that they're going to try to figure out how to get rid of the guy.
I think that they're trying to make him more of a running quarterback. They use his legs. He said, if I don't got to, I ain't going to do it. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to take in this game, I'm going to take the plus 3.5 with the Browns.
Interesting. An upset. Drew's going to go with the upset. I see the Washington Commanders improving. I see them winning. But do they cover by a field goal or a whole touchdown? Man, I think they win by a touchdown. I think they improve the 4-1, the surprise team. And if you're just joining us, I had just mentioned earlier in the show, where's Devonte Adams going to join? End up. I see Jimenez Video Productions in here. He says, puro pinche Raiders. Big loss for the Raiders to lose Devonte Adams if they go ahead and trade Devonte Adams. Where do you think he'll end up? Type it in the chat. Let me know where you think Devonte Adams will end up staying with the Raiders or what team he will end up at. Drew, that brings us to Baltimore Ravens versus Cincinnati Bengals. And the Ravens did a number on the red-hot Josh Allen-led Buffalo Bills. Well, the Ravens, who started shitty as hell at the beginning of the season, a lot of teams not playing to their full potential early on, now really finding themselves in a groove. A big win against Buffalo. They are favored by only 2.5 points against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Give me the 2.5 minus 2.5 with the Ravens.
I like that too. I can't see the Bengals upsetting them. I think the Ravens are finally in their groove. I think the Bengals fall to 1-4, and the Ravens do cover that spread. Easy breezy so far with the picks. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you like coming in, we cover football and boxing on Monday. Carolina Panthers versus Chicago Bears. These are those kind of teams that I just don't care about these teams, but nonetheless, Panthers at 1-3 and the Bears 2-2. Caleb Williams for the Bears is doing pretty damn good, but Andy Dalton, he's just having a lousy season, in my opinion. Paul Martinez, he's so good with the upsets. Paul Martinez says Bengals upset the Ravens.
So, what's the line on this?
All right, so on the line for this one, Cincinnati Bengals. Which one are we on right now?
Carolina and the Bears.
Oh, that's right, Carolina and the Bears. Panthers versus the Bears. Wow. Bears are favored by -4, so it's in between a field goal and a touchdown.
So, where's the game at?
Let's quickly look here. Excuse me. Yeah, it looks like the game is in Chicago.
What's the money line on that game?
On this game here, we got -4 for Chicago Bears. Bears are favored by 4 points.
What's the money line? What's the money line? Like the minus what?
-4.
No, that's the spread.
Oh, that's the spread. Yeah, -192.
Give me the Bills on the 190 and the -192.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet. That's pretty good. All right, guys, that brings us to, I'm going to actually go for the Bears as well. I think the Bears improved to 3-2, and Carolina continues to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. All right, still, let's see, at 10 a.m., Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I remember busting my homie Johnny Savage's balls all the time because the Jaguars suck. Finally, the Jaguars make the playoffs last year. Drew, are they going to fall to 0-5, the only team in the NFL that have not won a single game? They're looking like they're going to pick up the first round NFL draft pick next year. Did they break their curse, man? What's going on with Jacksonville Jaguars?
What's the spread?
Jaguars are finally favored to win a game at just -2.5, and -148 is what that bet pays. $100 will pay you, what, $148?
Give me the Jags with the 2.8. I mean 2.5. I gotta get a drink.
All right, guys. Does anybody, Paul, you're always really great about picking upsets if you're still in here. Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts. He says Jags going to win this week, win their first game. And Paul, I'm going to have to agree with you. I can't see the Jaguars being as bad as they are, not finally being able to beat somebody. Now, it looks like Joe Flacco, who's a fairly decent backup quarterback, somebody with a lot of NFL experience, he'll be starting on Sunday for the Colts. But even then, I think they break their awful streak. I think the Jaguars are going to finally get themselves in the win columns and get to a 1-4 standing. So the next game we're going to be talking about real here. All right. Looks like we covered all the 10 a.m. games. That brings us to the 1 o'clock games. And this one is exciting. Shout out to all the Niner Nation, the 49ers who, Purdy continues. I think it's pretty clear now at this point that nobody's calling Purdy a system quarterback. You look at his statistics and then you look at the power rankings, and Purdy is essentially the top quarterback in the entire NFL statistically for the season of 2024. And yet these effing assholes have the 49ers ranked 12 on the power rankings. Now, there's a lot of people that are unhealthy at the moment. We still got Christian McCaffrey, and I'm just going to go out here and say it, guys. I suffered a pretty bad injury a couple years back. Maybe it was 3 years ago. I don't remember. I thought I was going to need surgery in my right hand wrist area. It was what they determined acute tendonitis. Now, Christian McCaffrey has acute Achilles tendonitis in both ankles. For a running back, what does that mean? It means if he plays on both of those ankles, he's most likely going to tear one. Both of them are eligible to tear right off. That's pretty much a 1-year injury recovery for a running back. I don't know of any running back that's come back from an Achilles tendon tear to go on and have a successful NFL career. So you find Christian McCaffrey in Germany doing everything, even leaving the U.S. saying, you know what, I'm going to go do some exotic treatment. I got the money. I'm going to go to Europe to treat my Achilles injury because I need this shit to heal as quickly as possible. I want to get back in the game. That's the kind of player and leader that Christian McCaffrey is. But at the same time, for as being a young man as he is, he's beat up, guys. Drew, Christian McCaffrey, Achilles tendonitis in both ankles. If that shit doesn't heal completely, and I'm dealing with it again, I was just mentioning that it took me nearly a year to get over acute tendonitis in my right hand forearm, and it went away without surgery, Drew. But the shit came back, and it's not as bad as it was 3 years ago, but it affects me doing push-ups. It affects me lifting. It definitely would impact me throwing my right hand at a speed bag or a heavy bag. So I can only imagine for Christian McCaffrey what he's going through trying to rehabilitate without coming back to the NFL and injuring himself. Drew, I'm going to just put it out there that Christian McCaffrey probably is going to miss the entire season unless the 49ers make the playoffs. He's going to find a way to get himself in the game because that's the kind of competitor Christian McCaffrey is. That brings us to the 1 o'clock games. Paul, Achilles injuries are very bad in basketball. We know Aaron Rodgers has managed to come back at 40 years old. It's quite remarkable, but for a running back that needs to set his feet and plant and do power moves off those ankles, it's pretty bad. Hopefully he will take the time he needs to really, really heal so he could be a great, productive member of the 49ers. Maybe it happens if we get ourselves a playoff spot. But Drew, Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, 49ers favored by 7.5 points. You have to bet $355 to make $100 on the 49ers, or you can pick them to cover the spread. Does Arizona Cardinals got any chance? Does Derek Ware and my boy Finney the Legend, do they have a chance to upset the 49ers?
And the spread's 7 point what?
7.5. So it's going to have to be more than a touchdown because there ain't no half points.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to take the Cards, and I'm going to take the plus 7.5.
You heard that, Paul? Make sure all my Niner Nation, make sure y'all, he says that Arizona is going to, you did not watch how great the 49ers played last week, Drew. Easy win for the 49ers. I think they win by 10 points. Even Jimenez video prediction says Niners over those dead birds. We'll see how that one plays out. I will be looking forward to that game. It is my birthday week, Drew. I know your birthday is coming up as well. I may go treat myself. I'm thinking about, do I want to watch this game somewhere? There's a lot of cool places to watch Niners games in Las Vegas, obviously sports books and casinos and whatnot. Do I want to spend the money or do I just want to watch it at home and get some really good food? I don't know, man. It's not like my birthday fall. What would you do, Drew? Would you go to the casino and watch it and spend a shitload of money on beer, food, and drinks, and maybe a little gambling?
Well, I don't live in Vegas, Dave. I do have casinos in Philly, but I don't really go to those casinos, really. Like, to me, I will probably go to a bar and watch the game if I wanted to.
And I might do that. I might look for one of my local 49er bars here. Paul Martinez says, I'm a Raiders fan, and even I see the Niners win over Arizona. Okay, well, shout out to all my Raiders. Paul, if you guys didn't put it in here, let me know what team you think Devonte Adams ends up at if he is serious about traded to. Drop that in the comment section. So that brings us to speaking of Las Vegas, let's talk about the Raiders, who are 2-2 and got a win over the Cleveland Browns. Surprisingly, Devonte Adams talks about he wants to leave. They're not favored to beat the Denver Broncos. That is shocking. I think the Raiders are going to build off their momentum. How good can the Raiders be this year, though? They improved to 3-2. I think they're going to cover the spread. Now, they're not favored. So, Drew, this is a plus 2.5 for the Raiders. That wins you $100 if they cover the spread. Denver favored by just 2.5 points. Essentially, they got to kick a field goal over the Raiders for you to win. Does Denver Bronco pull off this win?
I'm going Raiders plus 2.5.
Nice. Well, yeah, at least the Las Vegas Raiders get the nod from Drew. They improve in his eyes to 3-2, and Denver falls to 2-3. Let's look at the Denver. Bo Nix is leading Denver, and Drew, I got it. Yeah, that quarterback is a hot mess. That's an easy one. That should be
with defense. And how long can you win with defense? Not very long.
Yeah, like I mentioned, guys, this is a bye week. There are 4 teams out, so we only have essentially. Let me just get a quick. What is going on with the game right now? It's Thursday Night Football. If anybody wants to put it in the chat, who was ahead? It was 30-27. And Jimenez says, hopefully Max Crosby is back. Hopefully he's back. Yeah, he's a big star for the Raiders.
I am thinking that the Raiders are eventually probably going to be sellers at the deadline, though.
You think so?
I really think so. I don't know. I really think that I don't know. It depends. I really have a feeling that the Raiders could be sellers at the deadline.
Yeah, they're going to have to make some big moves, whether or not they choose to stay with their coach, Pierce. Let me know what you guys as Raiders fans think. You guys think he's doing a good job? Will he get the Raiders to at least 8 wins this season? I mean, sometimes just being mediocre isn't good enough. Sometimes being the guy who picks the first round draft, like the Washington Commanders type deal, can improve, everything, because the Raiders essentially are still looking for their quarterback. So I don't know. I think they're going to be kind of a mediocre team and at least get some maybe 7 or 8 wins this year.
I was going 7-10 this year on the Raiders.
Let us know what you guys think. Adams is staying with the Raiders. I think that's what J-Dog says. All right, man. He thinks they're going to stay. Maybe it's just a bluff. We will have to wait and see. We will have some kind of answer in the next few weeks. So Arizona, I think they lose. I think the Raiders win. That brings us to, who else do we got on here? Did not cover the Rams Packers, did we?
Nah.
All right, that's going to actually be a very interesting game. LA Rams managed to upset the San Francisco 49ers. Drew, we talked about the defense of the 49ers, how they were able to rally back in the fourth. And Rams have a big win over the San Francisco 49ers. But Love is back. The Packers are back. And last week, even though he did not win, man, I think threw 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, something like that. He played remarkably well in the second half. The guy was shaking off some ring rust. We like to call that shit ring rust in the sport of boxing. He was injured in game number 1 in Brazil on that shitty turf in Brazil. He's back. And I think the Packers are looking pretty good. Packers are favored by a field goal. Paul Martinez says Packers over the Rams. And like I said, man, I think Love is looking pretty good in the second half of that game. Obviously, he's shaking off that ring rust, and I think that the Rams are they're a hot mess right now. And Stafford, I think, is a quarterback that's on the chopping block. I think Rams eventually, if they continue to play poorly, even though they got that big win over the San Francisco 49ers, they could be finding themselves looking at replacing Stafford. What do you think, Drew?
Well, he has nobody to throw to, so you're not going to replace Stafford. By the time they get the players back, it's going to be too late. They're going to be out of it. But I'm taking the Packers -3 on this. I'll take the spread. I'll take the -3 with the Packers on this game. I think injuries killed the Rams.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I look at it like this: people expected the Rams to be good this year, but they expected the Rams to score a lot of points because their defense was going to be at like lower tier a little bit because how young they are and everything. But no players. They snuck a win in against the depleted Niners.
Yeah, that week we were all banged. We were banged up. They were banged up, and they just played their hearts out in that last fourth quarter, Drew, and the 49ers defense failed. The 49ers really could be 3-1. We're going to talk about Seattle Seahawks, who are on the top of the NFC West. Let's go ahead to New York Giants versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks favored by -6.5 favorites. Bet you're going to have to bet, what, $115 to win $100 if they cover that spread. Seahawks, Drew, are they the best team in the NFC West? Are they really, at 3-1, the best team in the NFC West? It's out of focus, but does that say Seahawks? It's still out of focus. I hate, some of our webcams, they'll go out of Seahawks. Cover the spread? Yeah. All right. Seahawks cover the spread. I hate to say this, but I think this should be an easy game for the Seahawks. Geno Smith has been making a lot of great plays, a lot of great throws. And the 49ers are hot on the tails of the Seahawks, but they're going to continue to be, even if both teams come out, I think the Seahawks and the 49ers are going to both be victorious this week. We're still going to be in second place.
But here's the thing with the Seahawks. Geno Smith makes the flows in this. The Seahawks, I think without DK Metcalf, are probably a 1-3 team.
Yeah, he's a hell of a wide receiver. He's absolutely one of the top in the league.
They're becoming a sneaky good team. They're becoming sneaky good on people. The defense has improved a little bit. And I got Seahawks -6.5 in this game. I just think they cover the spread on my end. I just think that Geno is going to – I think the Seahawks are at least going to put up close to 30 points on the Giants and everything. So
all right, let's talk about that. Over is 43.5, under is 43.5. That's kind of a low-scoring game. You think so? Maybe 30 on the Seahawks, 14 for the Giants?
We'll do this. If we're doing it like this, man, I like that would be a game that I would take the over on because I think that the Seahawks may blow the Giants out.
All right, and like I said, it's low. Okay, Seahawks over. What did I just say? 43. A lot of these games have very similar over/unders. Yeah, Seahawks over 43.5. Yeah, so you think you would take that one too? And that game's at 1:25 p.m. The other last game, let's see, was that all the last game? Nope. Let's go to Sunday night evening. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, Cowboys versus the Red Hot Pittsburgh Steelers, Drew. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are favored to beat America's team on prime time this Sunday. Did you think the Steelers would be this good? I mean,
the defense was got me.
Defense is winning their games. All right. So, Pittsburgh Steelers are favored by just 2.5 points. So to cover the spread, they got to win by a field goal. They got to cover the over on that game is 44, under 44.
I tell you what, I'm gonna make a separate bet on that. I'm gonna take the under on that game too. But I will also make a bet with the Steelers minus 2.5. But I'll also take the under too.
Under 44 points. Obviously, that's a great pick. I'm going to have to agree with you, Drew. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers defense are going to hold the Dallas Cowboys to a low-scoring game. I love that bet. Under 44. That'll win you about $112. So that's not a bad bet right there. And I do favor the Pittsburgh Steelers to cover the spread. I see a couple of y'all think the Cowgirls might have it. Excuse me, the Cowboys. Steelers over the Cowgirls only because I don't like the Cowgirls. And Paul, I thought you were a Niners fan for saying that. You're a Raiders fan. I get completely forgotten. So it's a bye week. We only got one Monday night football game next week. Typically, this week we had two. But it's a hell of a game because there's only two teams in the NFL that are vying to go 5-0. And this one includes my nemesis, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, not playing the best offense that, honestly, it's not like they're like the greatest offensive team this year. Derek Carr, former Raider, former college football teammate of Devonte Adams. Derek Carr's playing pretty damn good. 3-1 over Steelers. Cowboys were 2-2. Chiefs are 4-0. And the Saints are 2-2, but they're a better team than 2-2, kind of like the 49ers. They're a better team than that. Can Derek Carr pull off the upset? Will they be the first team to stop the Patrick Mahomes magic? Got the card.
What's the odds of me having a Patrick Mahomes card and a Derek Carr card in my hands right now? What is the fucking odds of that, Dave?
Well, let me just see. Put up the card of the winning quarterback, Drew. Chiefs favored by 5.5 points over the New Orleans Saints. So, ironically, a lot of pundits have New Orleans Saints going into the backyard of Kansas City and beating them at home. Is it possible on Monday Night Football?
What's the over-under on that?
The over is 43 points, under 43. Paul Martinez says, yes, upset the Swifties. The Swifties got to, and I think Taylor Swift will be there.
I'm going to take the Chiefs with the under.
The Chiefs under 43 points is what I just said, right? Under 43 points. The Chiefs. Damn. I can't root for the Chiefs. Let's go with the upset. I think they finally do it. I think they finally don't play a great game, and they do it in front of Taylor Swift. I'm sorry to all my Chiefs fans. Y'all know who you are that watch the show. I think they finally fall to 4-1. They can't go to 5-0. Nah, I can't.
You're on DraftKings, right, Dave, right now?
Yeah, I am.
So how about you do this? You like all these picks. Let's say this. How about you put all my picks in and just act like you're betting 10. Don't bet. Just act like you put $10 down and see how much you would win if I did my picks.
I'm going to have to do that after the show, Drew, because I'm not even logged in to my account.
You only gotta be logged in to do it.
I got to be?
Yeah, I did it before. I'll tell you what. I'll do it right now.
All right, let's do it right now.
We're going to do it right now. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to let's go over here. It allowed me in anyway, so fuck it. But let's say New York Jets.
Yeah, there's 14 games.
And the Browns. So let's say I took the Vikings on the money line.
Sorry, there's 13 games because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game looks like...
So the Browns, I took the 3.5 on the Browns. And I took the Ravens with the minus 2.5. But we didn't even pick the Texans game.
Did we skip that game? Texans, C.J. Stroud versus Buffalo Bills, a red hot game, -1 favored for the Buffalo Bills. Can C.J. Stroud do that? Who are you? We did miss that game.
I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills. I'll take the -1.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Now let's see. I took the Bears on the 192. I took the Jags the minus 2.5. Miami and the Patriots.
I feel like we skipped that game too, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to take the Patriots, the +1.
I think the Patriots beat the Miami Dolphins. I think they just continue to look worse.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals with the +7.5.
That's a wild pick.
Dave's gonna flip out when I tell him how much I win if I get this.
Let's go. Let's get to it.
And I got the Raiders with the 2.5. I take the Seahawks with the -6.5. I took the Packers -3. I took the Steelers. And I also spent a 7 bet with the under, but I'm going to leave that out. And I took the Chiefs with the under.
Sunday night?
Yeah. But let's say this. Let's go back to that because it's not going to let me use it on the parlay.
I'm sorry. Chiefs is Monday Night Football.
So I can't even bet the Chiefs on that. So I can't say, okay, so let's say this. I bet $10. Guess how much money I'll win if all those things hit?
Tell me.
$13,807.01 with a $10 bet.
You should put that bet down. And I'm gonna try to figure out how to get logged on for next week and show that so we can make these wild bets. NFL Week 5. It's been a wild one, guys. It's been a very unpredictable season. This week, like I said, most of these spreads are 7 points or less. Almost all of them. It's anybody's season at this point. Only 2 teams are undefeated. A lot of teams are 2-2. A lot of teams are 1-3. Pretty wild shit. Who's going to emerge, Drew? I think for the NFC West, Drew, it's going back to the old school, man. The 49ers and the Seahawks are going to battle tooth and nail. By week 8, we're going to have a real good idea of who's healthy and who's not and who's going to potentially lead the NFC West into the playoffs. And then it's going to be a lot of teams looking to get that into that wild card spot.
You know what? I'm going to bet $5 on this parlay. And I'm going to tell you why. If I bet $5 and it hits, I still win $6,000, almost $70,000 on it. And you guys see it. Successful.
Oh, you did it on the phone app. Awesome. Paul Martinez says, as long as the Swifties lose this week, I'll be happy. He's going to hit that bet right there.
Oh, and we are locked in, everybody. Almost $7,000 I will win if all those picks win.
It only takes the Niners to win, Drew, and wow, you're out the $5.
and I'll tell you this right now: if all this hits for $5 profit, for $5 investment, I should do more of this.
Absolutely. Hey, by the way, guys, those of you that are joining us live that are fans of the channel, supporters of the channels, I got a brand new video coming out. Brand new Vegas video is coming out tomorrow. I think I'm going to set the premiere for 5 p.m. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys tune in at 5 o'clock tomorrow for the premiere of my new video Vegas vlog. I love filming. I love bringing out my camera. I've learned from a lot of great content producers here in Las Vegas how to do it, and I'm hoping to get better and better with every single video. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that new video tomorrow. Monday nights, we're back with the shoe shine, Drew. There's some boxing Friday night. There's some boxing Saturday in the afternoon in the UK. A lot to cover. It's a lot to cover, man. We'll be back on Monday, but I'll see the rest of you guys that want to join me for my video premiere tomorrow at 5 p.m. Any final thoughts on week 5?
I'll tell you this right now, Dave. Cowboys, what are they, 2-2?
A lot of teams 2-2, including you guys, right? Eagles.
A lot of these teams are 2-2, but a lot of them are bad 2-2s. Like, let's look at it like this. I think the Eagles have an opportunity to come back. If they're 2-2, I think they straighten some shit out and everything. I think they'll come back a better team. I think they're gonna have to make some personnel changes. I think fundamentally they gotta be better. And they can improve that. I think they'll be a formidable duo. I kind of think they may lose 5 or 6 games. That still wins you the East. I think Washington little hot start and everything, but
they fizzle out. Commanders fizzle out. The inexperience of the rookie.
They still have that bad secondary, and that's going to be a problem. I don't think Jalen is going to really. They got to win with him because his legs and everything. It's not like, he's passing for all these yards and everything. He's throwing touchdowns and he's ready with his legs. And they could contain him a little bit. It's, Washington's a different team. Their secondary's not that good. So
I heard that, man. I heard that. Hey, I appreciate everybody. Make sure you did hit that like button on your way out. We appreciate that. I'm Dave in the 702, straight out of Vegas. Drew, good to have you, man. I'll see you next Monday on the Shoe Shine. Until then, peace out, everybody. Peace.